Hey everyone, welcome back to my video series. Hope you have all been doing well in your studies and fulfilling your academic and personal goals. Again, my name is Eric Freestead. I am a UCI STEM student transfer in third year in mechanical engineering. And just as a recap, so in our last video, we talked about some of the engineering opportunities that I've experienced through community college, and in this video I'd like to focus now on some study tips that I've used and have found useful, helpful, and would find something to recommend to you. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so getting right into it, the first topic of today's video is how to get prepared to study. So, like many of you may have experienced, our first day of classes mostly about, meeting the professor, learning about their teaching style as much as possible. Some professors also have some learning assistants or teaching assistants that may also introduce themselves on the first day. And another important thing about first day in classes is meeting other classmates. And I cannot stress this enough, meeting other classmates on the first day of each of your classes is one of the most valuable resources you can have for studying. And along with that, there's of course the syllabus and the course structure. So how are different categories weighted in your class? You have homework, you have quizzes, participation sometimes, and then you have exams. And so preparing to study is all about understanding the course structure that you're currently in. Of course, that's different for every class, and this is a unique pattern and a unique habit that you should form that I would recommend. And even more importantly, on the syllabus are things like office hours, which is like one-on-one time with a professor, or even in a group setting, being able to ask the professor questions and also be able to listen to questions of other students. Another good resource from first day is some professors also have tutorials that they are willing to post, or meet outside of class to go over more problems, and this is another great resource to know about on the first day going into your classes. And finally, for getting prepared to study, the third most important thing I would say that has helped me is having some sort of organizer to keep track of what's going on in each class, and things such as relevant deadlines, assignments coming up, quizzes and exams coming up. Really just a way to, on a weekly basis, to have a habit of looking ahead, understanding the material that's coming up, and having the advantage in knowing what's going to come, so that if you're stuck at any point, you know the expectations for going forward, so you know what really you need to focus on at any point going forward in the class. So moving on to the next topic are some of the studying tools that I found valuable in my past experiences with community college classes. Really right off the bat, one of the most valuable tools I found is the office hours that I mentioned previously. And the reason I say this is the most valuable is because it's an opportunity for you to have either one-on-one time with a professor or to be in a group setting, as I had mentioned, with other fellow classmates. And this is really just an opportunity for you to ask directed questions on material that's relevant in the course at the time, that really can help make the difference in clarifying concepts that may show up on quizzes or exams. So that's really my number one recommendation. Number two, and this is, sort of optional. It's more of, is this available to you specifically? An option is to attend tutoring sessions. Now, some college campuses offer tutoring for free or low cost, depending on the institution that you're in. But there is also, of course, outside private tutoring. However, this can be a lot more expensive. And while I have not personally used tutoring to a very great extent, I understand the benefits of it, as I've heard from many of my classmates who have used tutoring, and it really has shown an advantage to me comparing my performance with theirs, with and without tutoring. So that is another option that I would recommend to you, should it be available. And finally, one thing that I would recommend that, it may not be a popular option for some, but finding digital learning assistants. Okay, so for me, for example, for the longest time, when I was doing my homework, I would spend hours and hours trying to grind through and figure out problems, and then, I couldn't get this, and so I'd waste another 30 minutes trying to find out what I did wrong. It was very time consuming for me, and it wasn't a great use of my time. It wasn't very efficient for my learning process, and therefore my studying, because obviously what shows up on the homework is more often than not what shows up on a quiz or an exam. And so having a virtual or digital learning assistant such as Quizlet or Chegg, may not be the very popular choice. However, I can definitely attest to its usefulness for me specifically, as I have been able to use it to really learn and understand concepts that I never really would have thought of otherwise. I don't know how many of you have also experienced this, but if you're trying to approach a problem and you're just sitting there looking at it for hours and hours, and you really just don't know where to get started, well, having a digital learning assistant is really the game changer here, and it allows you to study a lot more effectively and to perform a lot more efficiently in your classes. And so that's why I would recommend having that as well. Our final topic for today's video has to do with collaborating and studying with your friends and your fellow classmates. So, as I introduced in the very beginning, one of the useful tools for you going into preparing for a course is to meet and introduce yourself to other classmates who are in that course with you. And this is really the reason why it is to work together, because one of the best studying tips that I can recommend is group studying. In any setting, in any professional setting, most work is done as a group, right? Everyone has a role, everyone has a set of given tasks, and everyone works together as a team to accomplish their goals. And this is the exact same that I have experienced in community college courses with group collaboration. Now, in some courses, group collaboration is required as part of your grade, But that shouldn't be a inspiring factor just to create a group. I think that having a group is extremely useful for any course, as some things that you may not know exactly, others in your group may know pretty well, and vice versa. And following that up, asking if there is like a class Discord, or simply just getting your partner's contact information, so that way you can stay in touch with them, have like a small group chat. It can be very useful, especially on the weekends when you're grinding for all of your classes all at once, to ask questions, to work together, to help each other solve problems. And as you help others and help explain certain concepts to others, you're also learning too. So it's a win-win for everyone. And that's why this is another great studying tip that I would recommend to anyone. So as the video is closing now, I just wanted to have a quick recap of the various topics that we've covered for today's video in studying tips. So our first topic, of course, was getting prepared to study and things that you should do on the very first day of class. And secondly, following that up, I shared some of the valuable tools that you can use to study and help you succeed in your classes. And finally, the third topic from today's video was about collaborating and working and studying with your friends and your fellow classmates in your classes. So I hope you all are doing well so far in your classes and have been succeeding to your expectations. I look forward to talking to you more in the future about upcoming topics, and I hope you are all having a fantastic evening. Thank you.